Okay, here is our uranium update. Welcome to Swing Trading with Cycles channel. On this channel, we time the markets without predicting the markets. That is a really important concept. It is possible. I'd say predicting the markets consistently, probably not possible, but it is very, very possible to spot a trend reversal and enter early in the ensuing move, right? If I spot a reversal where a downtrend ends and an uptrend begins, I can enter that uptrend. I'm not going to enter at the bottom. That's not possible to do consistently. But I can enter close to the bottom and on the way up. And the same goes for downtrends as well. So we're going to look at CCJ here. I will also look at UEC, Uranium Energy Corp, and I'll look at Denison Mines. I know those are sort of fan favorites for some folks. If there are any miners that you'd like me to take a look at, and definitely put it down there in the comments. I'll take a look if I can, if there's some sort of quorum. But we'll start with CCJ here because I think that's a good proxy for the overall space. And so this is your daily chart. It does look like we have, or I should say we do still have our swing low in place. It's pretty early for a daily cycle low on day 23. But which is kind of a similar situation with the dollar where we had a very early daily cycle low. But the price action is a price action. We crossed above the 10-period moving average. We closed above it as of today, and we're staying well above this swing low so far. So this is day 6. It's not been a huge move so far, so that's less promising. But let's talk about the specific levels. So first off, we have this ominous gap here between 24.70 and 23.76. So about a $1 gap that we've managed to stay above. I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid that fate before the end of the year of closing this gap. We're going to have to see. So we've moved higher. And then we had these 3 trend days off of this low. So we tested this gap. And then we had these 3 trend days. I mean, this was a really ugly day. But these were 3, I should really read these 2 days were up days, right? So this made a higher high, this made a higher high. And then this day we just consolidated inside red day. And then this day we tested this range and then came all the way back and pulled back. This is important to understand. At one point this candle was green. It made a higher high above this one, but then it failed. But what it didn't do is make a new low below here. It just kind of still stayed within the range. I mean, in some ways, it's kind of remarkable. I mean, look, I'll zoom in here. It's kind of remarkable how it kind of respected this price. I mean, it looks like it might have dipped a little bit below. And that's why, again, I always say these are price zones, not specific levels. But clearly, price reacts to those levels, right? It came down here and then it pulled back. And it came all the way down there, but couldn't make a significant low. And then we got a little bit of a rally. It came up here, could not make a new high, and pulled back really hard. So then, and this was your Friday candle. Today we got another higher high, but a pretty ugly candle as we pull back. That said, CCJ and uranium in general are known for these upper wick candles. It kind of makes it hard to trade, especially if you're looking at it on a shorter time frame. It's just owing to the volatility in the space. But it is a higher high. And importantly, we made it above this consolidation zone. Now, it's not auspicious that we closed back below the consolidation zone. Very possible that this is essentially just a false breakout. The same way you can have a false breakdown when you make a new low. This is the reverse. We poked our head up and now we've pulled back. So we're going to watch this pretty closely. And on the weekly chart, this is week 14. Same kind of idea here. There's a lot of clear air. Let's call it below 24.52. That would actually, is that 24.52? Right. That would actually get you below this gap here and then some. So we're going to have to watch. It definitely looks a little bit precarious here. And on the monthly chart, inside month so far, pretty big range. So last month had a high at 31 and a low at 24.66. So as long as we're in between those two numbers in that range, this just isn't really doing a whole lot. It's just an inside month. And so we're going to have to watch and see what it decides. The implications are this is month 31 of our 36-month cycle. It's been a pretty bullish cycle since we got our high on month 25. But that could still mean there's more downside. And as I say often, the broader market, the direction that it goes is going to impact this greatly. So definitely take a look at the links in the description as always, for look at the broader market update that goes through the S&P, etc. I do think that the broader market is moving into a 3-year cycle low, so it would make sense that uranium is as well. Again, CCJ here is our proxy. And so now we'll go over to looking at just a few other uranium names besides CCJ. We'll look at let's see if we can get the monthly chart going. Okay, looks like my setup is not cooperating here. Let's just go to UEC from here. So UEC, let's look at the daily chart, kind of orient ourselves a little bit. So so as you can imagine, these names move very similar to each other, which is why I tend to not review a lot of them in detail individually. But we have our swing low here, same as CCJ, and now we're moving higher. I like the fact that this has a lot less wick than CCJ, so that's good news. But this is day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the rally. So very similar count to CCJ. In this case, you're really going to want to see, it looks like we're trying to make a run to that 464 area. That looks like it's going to be important. And I expect that's a weekly level that's important, right? So is that the 466 area? Yeah, exactly. So once we get above there, you could see a move back to like testing this local high here. But the monthly chart, again, just same as CCJ. This is really just consolidation, right? We had this big high here in April, big bearish wick, and then we had 2 red months to follow it. But then we had these 2 green months, and now we have another red month. So we're just chopping around here. It requires patience. There's going to be a big move like this coiling, right? Like I have to imagine this coiling is trying to test, these levels. I mean, we already tested. How high does this get? 660. So that's almost, 75, 80% upside from here just to get back to this level, let alone this $9 level, which will be interesting. And if we look at Denison, I know that's another really popular one, Denison Mines, ticker symbol DNN. So a similar kind of thing. Again, this is your monthly chart. We're getting this massive consolidation here after this. In this case, so this is important to understand the divergence. So Denison topped out in November 2021. CCJ, we know, topped out just earlier this year, and same thing for UEC. So this one has actually been declining for longer, which is important to know about. But it's the same kind of idea. This consolidation, my guess is looking to test that 360, call it the 350-ish neighborhood, 3.5. And then if we can get through that, it would seem like, we have pretty clear sailing to like the, call it the $6 area. And then of course you have your all-time high at 14. But like at some point, at some level, these start to become magnets as we clear more and more upside. But this still needs work to do with its consolidation. And again, it's also a broader market call. This is just not a great time for risk assets in general. But there is going to be that breakout point. And believe me, we will be talking about it on this channel. If you're not following me on Twitter, definitely take a look at the links in the description so that you can become a follower on Twitter, because I do give timely updates there. I certainly post more often than I do videos. I post at least once a day, a few times a day, especially if something important is happening. If we're just about to print the swing low, something is just getting a reversal, I like to try to get people ahead of things. But like, this is going to be exciting to watch. I can't wait to start making the videos when we have the breakout. We just don't have it yet. But you can see on the chart, it's waiting and it's primed. This is a nice looking little bull flag. Now, there's more downside to come because we're moving into a 3-year cycle low most likely. But man, when this thing clears eventually, we could see a nice clean trend move. I mean, the move from 120 to 360, that's a 3x in and of itself. Again, don't wear yourself out though. Save your capital and mental capital. Let this thing prove itself to you. It topped out in November, so it's coming up on a year since the top. Let the thing prove itself to you. And in this case, you'd really need a move above. And again, I think this probably feels like it's much higher. Like, yeah, you kind of need a move above the 150 area to start to get excited. And obviously, That's already 30% from here. So you can certainly zoom into a lower time frame, get a more sort of precise entry. But if you're just thinking about like big picture, that's probably your level. And this is your yearly chart. I love to look at these where each candle is a full year. Look at this big bullish hammer candle from 2020. This was your COVID low. It made an all-time low at 19 cents. And then we just sprung back up. But what do we have to this year? I hope this is making sense. You're starting to see this. This is an inside year. We're just doing nothing, right? We're consolidating inside the range from 2021. That's all we're doing, right? A ginormous range between 63 cents and $2.14. Now, we could revisit that area. There's no reason that we won't or can't. But this just tells you there's nothing happening here. You need to be patient. Give it some time. Because even breaking through 214, there's still another 100% upside to get to that $4 to this kind of magnet. So be patient. Watch the levels. Try to clamp down the emotion.